Hey y'all, and welcome back to Bourbon and Bones. This is our 13th episode, and if you're new to our channel, welcome, like, share, comment, and subscribe below. So a few weeks ago, we did a little survey on Facebook, and Weller Foolproof won. And we did a really fun episode about that, little link. And the second place runner-up was Wild Turkey Rare Breed. And since it was such a close second, we kind of thought, might as well do a video about it. So Rare Breed is a Wild Turkey barrel proof expression coming in at 116.8 proof. And this is the brainchild of the master distiller of Wild Turkey, Jimmy Russell. He's the longest serving master distiller, currently at 66 years. He and his son are actually co-master distillers, and they actually hold the title of the only co-master distillers in the world. This expression was first released in 1991 at 112.8 proof and has had over 10 releases with proofs ranging from 108 proof to nearly 117. So Rare Breed is a blend of a 6, 8, and a 12-year-old bourbon. And it's the high rye mash bill of theirs with 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. This is the Wild Turkey mash bill. It's all of their bourbons. They all have the exact same mash bill. Every expression of theirs is more about aging and blending. Unlike places like Buffalo Trace, which have a couple of mash bills, they only have just the one. And it's more about how the process is done than it is about the original mash. So even this barrel proof is a blend of barrel proofs to match a consistent taste. So a lot of barrel proofs that we have back there are single barrels poured out into a single bottle, or a handful of bottles. This is lots of barrel proofs blended together for a very specific barrel proof release. A little bit different. And also in 1991, Rare Breed was released the same time as Booker's was released. Also another barrel proof. And is one of the longest running barrel proof lines in bourbon. So Wild Turkey is a little odd in some ways. Their barrel proof is currently 116.8 proof, and their flagship is Wild Turkey 101, so 101 proof. That's only just a 15.8 proof point difference. Now, if you look at something like 1792, and its barrel proof is 125 proof, and its regular small batch is 93.7 proof. It's a difference of 31.3 proof. So it's a huge difference. What I'm trying to say is, Wild Turkey is kind of clustered in this high proof end of things, while other expressions, other companies do a larger variety between their flagship bourbons and their full proof bourbons. Not that I'm actually complaining at all, actually, about that. I really like Wild Turkey, and I like their high proof mindset. You get a bigger, bolder, more robust flavors with it. And this bottle is absolutely no exception. So we have dug further into the history of Wild Turkey before in our Master's Keep episode. And if you missed it, you should totally check it out. Now, without further stalling, let's dig into the bourbon. And right away you know it's a high proof. It's a lot of ethanol right at the front. But as soon as you get past that, you actually get this nice bold spice and a little bit of vanilla. And just a touch of mint, like right at the very end on the nose. So it's brown sugar. I mean, just thick dessert of brown sugar. Good vanillas, a huge spice, like big, bold baking spice, lots of cinnamon, lots of star anise. plenty of char from the barrel, but also this really kind of a toasted bread, kind of a yeastiness with it as well. And the finish really lingers. It's actually almost like how a Christmas tree smells. It kind of lingers, that little pine kind ofness, sapness kind of lingers on the back. And the mint kind of revisits, because it's definitely not on the palate, or at least it's overshadowed. And it kind of has the thickness like a pound cake does. It's fantastic, but it has a really long finish. It really stretches out. Yeah, so it's a really good one. Well, anyway, per usual, we take a short break and let my palate kind of reset, and we will be back with a bit of water, so stay tuned. So welcome back to Bourbon and Bones. We're here with Rare Breed and some water, so let's taste again. So on the nose you get still that big, bold spice. A little bit of alcohol that's been reduced some, which is actually kind of brings out a little bit more of the spice characteristics. And definitely that vanilla and a little, even more mint, almost like a spearmint. Almost like spearmint gum smell. So on the palate you get spice and char up front now. A little bit of that brown sugar. Definitely a ton of vanilla. But that toasted yeastiness is pretty much gone. It kind of just drifts away. But it still has that really long finish. Still that very pininess, a little bit more mint. Actually almost like a burnt brown sugar as it kind of finishes now. And the pound cake heaviness is completely gone, but it does kind of have a little bit of a butter kind of finish as well. Right at the very end as it's kind of finally dissolving entirely. So the verdict. This is an absolutely fantastic, high-proof, barrel-proof bourbon. I mean, it is, I think, around the $45 mark at my liquor store. Really affordable. Definitely keep it on your counter. I mean, keep it at your bar. It's a great example of Wild Turkey being the best it can be without spending $100 and something. It's absolutely great for its price point, for its flavor profile, for its complexity. I haven't played with it a whole lot yet to see if it does well in cocktails, but I kind of have a feeling it really will. And if you don't like cocktails, then just drink it straight. It's fine. It's really good. If someone really wants to get into barrel proofings or higher proof bourbons, this would be a really good place to go. It's not too ethanol-y, and it's not such a high proof that you can't handle it. But all the complexity is completely there and really is worth picking up. Now is the time where we get ready to transfer from bourbon to bones. And tonight, we're going to talk about Apache Tears. These are small bits of obsidian called obsidianites or volcanic glass. Most of the time, obsidian is in chunks, but these actually have been formed into little droplets and are all over the Southwest, but are most prevalent in Arizona. First big question is, why are they called Apache Tears? And the Apache tribe tells the story that 75 Apache warriors fought with the U.S. cavalry and they were fighting on a mountain overlooking what is now Superior, Arizona in the 1870s. And the warriors were facing overwhelming force and defeat, and instead of being captured, they rode the horses off a cliff. And when the wives and the families heard of the warriors' death, they wept, and the tears hit the rock, and their tears turned to stone. And it's a heartbreaking story and rather par for the course for the American Indians in the West. So the question is, what are they really beyond the story? So obsidian forms when lava flows up through the crust and is really heavy with siliconous rock. That means that it's really full of silica. You are familiar with silica, whether you know it or not. The little discount packages that are in your shoes and packaging everywhere, that's silica. Your drywall, the sidewalk you walk on, all of that has silica in it. It's literally in every part of your daily lives, and you don't even know it's there. When silica is superheated and turns into magma, it forms obsidian glass. Now, the lava that had to have come into contact with water, and there has to be a lot of water, like an inland sea or a very large lake, a Great Lake or an ocean. But it can't be too much water, or else it would completely remove all the obsidian. It has to be, it oddly enough has to be just the right amount of water without being too much. So that's always fun to try to figure out. So if there's a really, really small body of water, the lava would basically just instantly turn the water into steam, and it would just never convert. It would just turn into basic obsidian. But for Arizona and the Southwest, for millions and millions of years, water was actually never an issue here, unlike today. So as the magma hits the water causes the obsidian to hydrate. And that means the water enters into the obsidian glass and converts it into perlite. Perlite is the light gray stone that you find in gardening bags. So you open up a bag of potting soil and those little bit of white dots, that is perlite. And it is absolutely fantastic for gardens and farmers. So the obsidian gets flooded with water, most of the glass turns into the gray rock perlite, and pockets actually form. And once it cools or left behind, is trapped Apache Tears, glass obsidian pebbles, whatever you want to call them. And for rock hounds and jewelry makers, these are really, really neat. Out here, they're kind of considered a semi-precious stone, even though they actually have no intrinsic value, other than the fact they're really cool. And for artist pieces and for statement pieces, they're really, really nice. But other than that, they are pretty much just little bits of glass. And these are fun specimens. And paired with a great barrel-proof bourbon, they are nothing to cry about. So like, comment, and subscribe. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, so come check us out there. We try our best to have a whole lot of fun. And remember, share a bourbon with someone. Good night.